Zoos. We've been there, you've probably been there, and we mostly all love them. I mean, where else are you gonna find a Komodo dragon other than remote islands in Indonesia? Well, for many decades, a bunch of people have been saying zoos are prisons, animals don't deserve to be locked in cages, and all that stuff. And their only evidence to back up their claim is that they'll just show a couple images of run-down zoos that probably have been closed for decades, of like very small enclosures that aren't AZA accredited. And if you're one of those people that believe this very overused misconception that I don't buy, I want you to take a good look at enclosures of zoos that are actually accredited by the AZA. Remember this image you just saw? Well, do you want to see an actual bear enclosure, like a real bear enclosure from zoos that are AZA accredited? Bam, look at this. Look at all the space these bears have got. Look at the pool they got. Look at all the stuff to roam around. Like, totally like the wild. All zoos have to follow rules that enclosures have to be a certain size and replicate the animal's natural habitat. You can't just put a polar bear in a desert exhibit. You know what? I'm just going to show you a video of a polar bear exhibit that I took. To be fair, I went to the zoo during the winter, but you see how the polar bear has water to swim in? How its enclosure's big and how, it looks like its natural habitat? I haven't seen what it looks like in the summer. If I'm going to be honest, life in a zoo is much, less stressful than in the wild for animals. I mean, think about it. If you're a lion in the wild, you're constantly under stress because you could go days, if not weeks, without eating, or competing with hyenas, leopards, painted dogs, and other lions, and your success rate of hunting is already 30%, so... Well, if you're a lion living in a zoo, you're probably not under stress because you don't have to worry about starving because you get food every day. You don't have to worry about competing with other animals because you're in an enclosure, and you get, constant health care and support. Because if you broke your tooth in the wild, you're done. Zoos are also great for, protecting endangered species. Because if we're being honest, if it weren't for us and zoos, giant pandas probably would have been extinct by now. What I'm trying to say is that animals in zoos have to be happy, or else the zoo will be closed down and the animals will be relocated. Also, contrary to popular belief, zoos don't really buy animals, they trade them because putting a price on an animal can be considered poaching. For example, if you want a hippo, then maybe you can give me 7 sable antelopes and maybe that'll be a fair trade. And even with all that, just one more thing I want to say is that not every single animal can be seen in a zoo. Some are just very uncommon and only in one zoo. Some are just straight up not allowed. For example, you won't really see any proboscis monkeys in zoos, which is mostly due to their specialized diet, which is very hard to replicate. And unfortunately, there are no aquariums in the world with a great white shark. I mean, we did try, but they all failed because they're just too big and they eat, large food that we can't replicate. Also, even regarding of what I just said in this video, I still do not think that orcas should be in captivity because they're too big, they can travel large distances in just one day, and they're just not fit for captivity. I mean, look at the poor orca in this image. Its fins droopy. That's all the signs I need that it's not happy. Anyways, that's all I have for the video, so... Next time you go to the zoo and you see, an animal behind the glass or fences or whatever they use to keep it out, just don't feel bad for it because it's having the time of its life because it doesn't have to worry about predators or competing with other predators.